All right, let's go ahead and get things underway. We're going to go ahead and move things over to this screen. Hey everyone, Spidey Librarian here, and let me go ahead and give Spotify a good chunk of the rest of the stream off. There we go. All right, and welcome. Welcome to tonight's episode of Show It. You guys know what Show It is. It is the live streaming show where I watch an episode of a show that I have never seen, and I show that reaction on my YouTube channel. And how many times can I use the word show in one, not really a sentence, I guess a paragraph in various different ways. But anyways, welcome. I appreciate you being here tonight. So it is September 1st, or at least it's still September 1st where I am. And with a new month comes a new channel theme. And we're basically doing the theme of a franchise that I have loved for most of my life, and that you guys probably wouldn't know if you were just taking a look at my YouTube content. I am, of course, talking about Star Trek, and I've actually been into Star Trek for at least the last 3 decades. And so I have a lot to say about this franchise, a lot of positive. I haven't seen every single episode of Star Trek ever made. There's actually quite a few that I haven't seen. And I'm doing something kind of special with Show It this month. Every episode of a Star Trek show that I show on Show It, wow, I'm doing that a lot, is going to be an episode of something I've never seen. Including tonight's episode, which is going to be the episode Space Seed from Star Trek, the original series. I can only think of a couple of Star Trek shows that I have seen every episode of. That would be Picard. I've seen all the episodes of Picard, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, all the new stuff. Lower Decks. I've seen all of that. I'm reasonably sure I've seen every episode of Next Generation. And then aside from that, I don't think I've seen no, I know I haven't seen every episode of Deep Space Nine. I haven't seen every episode of Voyager or Enterprise or the original series. So we're definitely going to get into those in the near future. But I want to do a video essay about my love of Star Trek, and I'm hoping to do something like that in the near future, sometime this month. It probably won't be very good, but I want it to be a little bit more than just me sitting in front of a microphone talking about how I got into Trek and how much I love it. You guys want to ask me any questions about it, I will be happy to answer them for you. But at least for now, we're gonna shelve that for a video that I will hopefully get done this month. I'm working on other videos aside from just the watch party stuff. We're going to be doing lots of Star Trek movies for Classics Revisited. We've got one on deck this Friday for Film First Friday. And there is a lot. There is a lot to cover this month, and I'm really looking forward to it. So Wolf is asking, how about the Orville? All right, so first of all, Wolf, welcome. Good to see you. The Orville is a show that I actually have maybe seen like one episode of, and I have heard a lot of good things about it. Have not had the opportunity to watch it. So I'll tell you what, Wolf, because I know there are multiple seasons of the Orville out. I'll tell you what, you choose one episode of the Orville, all right? One episode of the Orville, the one that you think is not even the best, but the one that showcases what the show is most about. You can suggest one episode. I need the title, and then I will see. I can't make you any promises, but I will see about seeing if I will see if I can include it sometime this month in the Show It lineup. I've already got the month mostly taken care of, but I might be able to squeeze an extra episode in, and I think the Orville is a really good suggestion. I have never really sat down and watched the Orville and everything. So if you've got one for me, I would be willing to check it out. So Started out as Star Trek with fart jokes and then became a love letter to TNG. See, I'm down for this. I am down for this. Pick an episode of the Orville. Just one episode, can only be one, and try to give me whichever episode you think most embodies what the series is about. And I'll see about trying to include it sometime on Show It this month. So, all right. Hi, Trouble. Trouble's looking at me, guys. I don't know if you can see her. Come here, baby. There she is. There she is. I love her. So we're going to feed her some treats, and then we're going to visit the overlay, and we're going to get started on watching Space Seed. And I see that CG Anime Fan is here. How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right. From what CG knows of Star Trek, Khan seems to be the most iconic villain of the franchise. I would say that he is probably the most famous. I would say that the Borg are probably more iconic than Khan, but your mileage may vary. So let me get my kitty fed, and then we'll move on. Okay. All right, Miss Trouble. Come here, baby. Yeah, I got a bunch of them right here. Yeah, don't bite my finger. There's more. Three, four, five. There you go. Your dad loves you. She's like getting away as soon as she gets all the treats. Okay. All right. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to rethink how I approach the themed months. While I do enjoy doing the watch party content, okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I understand it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch me in front of a camera reacting to things that I happen to be watching on another screen. And making reaction videos does take time that I don't often have. So I am working on other content in addition to what I've got going this month. We'll see how successful I am in pulling it off, but I am working on it whenever I'm not at work and when I'm not doing this stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see about getting it incorporated. I'm not going to guarantee great quality, but I'm going to work on some of it, okay? If Q counts as a villain, think he would be up there for the most iconic Star. Yeah, I mean there are definitely there are big foes in Star Trek, and Q is definitely one of them. So, all right, let's go ahead and move over to the Show It overlay. Here we go. I've got it decked out specifically for Star Trek, the original series. You guys can see the chat going on, so please feel free to join in. Feel free to talk about what you think about Star Trek, what you think about Star Trek villains, suggestions for video content that I can create. Right now, I'll tell you guys this since you're here, all right? So what I'm working on right now is a list video, all right? And what I think that list video is going to be is my top 10 memorable moments from Star Trek, just from the movies and the shows and stuff like that. So I've got I've basically got a top 10 list. I've written it down, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm working on the script right now. I'm gonna see if I can turn that around fairly quickly. I mean, hopefully by the end of this month, but like hopefully even sooner than that. We're just gonna see. And again, I'm gonna just have to like do it with not the best production value in the world, but if that is something that you guys want to see, then throw some emotes in the chat. Just be like, yes, that's awesome, people dancing. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so I've got the episode queued up right now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the sound test going. I'm going to go ahead and mute the desktop audio, plug in you old headphones, and then we're going to put them on and we're going to get started. So All right, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do a quick sound test. I've got the episode queued up. I'm going to go ahead and just hit play. Hopefully you guys are not going to hear it. I think it's going to get started immediately. So you'll start hearing like the Enterprise fanfare, and I think it starts like they start narrating and stuff pretty quickly. So hopefully you're not hearing any of, well, this. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, and there we go. All right, that's about 10 seconds right there. Hopefully you guys did not hear anything. And if you did not, great. Tell me one way or the other if you heard anything. And again, feel free to sound off in the chat. Let me know what you think about Star Trek. Tell me what content you'd like to see from me this month. Again, one of the videos that I'm working on is a top 10 list, top 10 memorable moments in Star Trek. It's just a Spidey Librarian's opinion list. So, you know, I'm thinking CG, the way he's talking, maybe I should do like a top 10 villains list at some point. And I don't even know how I do that. I mean, you've got so many. I mean, you could count Q as a villain. Hell, you could count the Klingons as a villain, even though they're not anymore. You could count Jesus, the Borg, um, Trelane, I suppose. There's all kinds. So I don't know. That could be a lot of fun. All right. Okay. We're about to get started. We're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So just let me go ahead and do the standard disclaimer. So if you are here and expecting to see any video or hear any audio from the feature in question, I'm afraid that's not going to happen. Just so you know, this is a watch party, so you have the opportunity to watch it along with me. But what you see is pretty much what you're going to get. Cameras pointed at me, I'm reacting to it, and that's kind of that. We will be using this footage to create reaction videos in the future. And in the meantime, you have the opportunity to watch it along with me. If that's not what you're here for, I totally understand it. Please feel free to click away. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want any negative engagement as a result, although I still get it sometimes. And yeah, so as we're going to be making reaction content in the future, there will be an introduction, there will be the viewing, what I call the postmortem, when we do the review and reaction to the media in question, and then there will be an outro, and then we'll be done. So we're going to get started in just a moment here. And again, if this is not what you're here for, please feel free to click away. Thank you very much, and we're going to get started in just a second. All right, guys. Before I finally just dip into this, let me just make sure I'm gonna see what everyone else has been saying. I think I'm mostly caught up. So, but yeah, Q could count as a villain. Okay, Wolf said that he could send me something on Discord. Yeah, dude. Whenever you get a recommendation, let me know. And I'm actually really glad that you came here and mentioned the Orville, because I really hadn't given that one much thought. So that would be excellent. All right. Space Seed, the episode Space Seed is going to be about 50 minutes and 29 seconds long, just so you guys know. So that's what I like about old Trek, man. They really, I mean, they went not the full hour, but a good chunk of it. So, all right, okay. So, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the introduction, and I'm gonna do that right now. Hey everyone, Spidey Librarian here, and welcome to Show It, the live streaming show where I watch an episode of a show on my YouTube channel and react to it. Today's feature is going to be the episode Space Seed from the original Star Trek show. It's season 1, episode 22, I believe. So for all of my for any Star Trek fans joining me, my fellow Star Trek fans, I just want to say live long and prosper and welcome. So I've actually never seen this episode. I have watched so many Star Trek movies. I have watched much Star Trek media, and I can tell you so much about the lore, the history of Star Trek, both in the fictitious and the meta-contextual non-fictitious sense, that you might be surprised to be like, oh, there are episodes of Star Trek that Spidey Librarian hasn't seen? God, yes. And so Space Seed is going to be the first in a number of episodes of Star Trek that span the entire franchise, not just the original series. We're going into the golden age of Trek during TNG, DS9, Voyager, that era, and into new Trek as well. And so I am looking forward to experiencing more of Star Trek during what has become the theme for the month of September for my YouTube channel, which, of course, is Star Trek in its many forms. I'm working on other videos for this month, but I am also just wanting to continue to watch and react to a bunch of Star Trek media. And so we're going to be doing this one. Space Seed is the direct prequel to what is widely considered to be one of the best, if not the best, Star Trek movies ever made. That would be Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. That movie contains a number of memorable moments and a lot of emotional depth for anyone who is a fan of the series. You would think, having seen that movie and having loved that movie as much as I do, that I would have seen Space Seed by now. And you would be incorrect. So we're going to correct that. What's that word? We're going to correct that gap, and we're going to do it in just a moment. If you enjoy these reactions, please go ahead and thwip the like button, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing as well. Also, consider sharing this out to your friends, your family, your followers, anyone that you think would enjoy my reaction to these media. In this case, Star Trek fans. Whether you like or dislike this episode, let me know why in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you about this show. And finally, you can find... Oh, wow. My brain just decided not to work right there. And finally, you can find the full and unedited live stream of this reaction on my YouTube channel. Each show has its own playlist under the category Watch Party, and I will be creating a special playlist for all of the Star Trek shows that I'm watching this month across the entire franchise. Whichever of those playlists you look for, you can find them on my YouTube channel, again, under the category Watch Party. Okay, all right. And I think with everything, we're going to go ahead and get started here. All right, you guys ready for this? I am ready for this. Again, for every episode of Show It, it will be an episode of something that I have actually never seen. And you guys might find this to be weird. My favorite episode of Deep Space Nine is an episode I've never seen. Chew on that while we get ready. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do it here. Hold on. I don't want these things too loose. All right. Okay, guys, so when I throw out the thwip, what's going to happen is that we will I'll have my cursor over the play button, so when I throw out the thwip, that means about a second later I'll probably grab and hit play on the episode itself. And then let me go ahead and I'm going to put a couple of seconds on the timer simply because it'll probably take me a couple of seconds to hit start. So we're going to put like 2 seconds on it and we're going to get going. And let me see. Oh, wow. We've got we've got some love from Twitch. Mindshell has joined us. Mindshell, welcome. Thank you for being here for the viewing. We're going to go ahead and get this. We're going to go ahead and get this going in just a moment. All right. Okay, guys. Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 22, Space Seed. All right. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. All right. The look of the old Enterprise is just so cool to me. Oh, really, Spock? It couldn't be. Hey, 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 let your communications officer do her job, Kirk. I like the banter between Kirk and Spock. I mean, I always have, but oh my god, Spock. Pinpointing everybody, even on Earth vessels. I mean, yeah, I suppose that would be possible. Four beats per minute? Okay. The, I guess they're all in cryo freeze, right? That would make sense. Spinning lights on the warp nacelles right there. That's great. Ah, the intro. Beam, boom, doom, ba-doo. Oh God. So, for anyone interested, I'm watching this on Paramount Plus right now. And one question that I do have is have they maybe gone in and like digitally retouched up all of these episodes? Cuz I don't know. I felt the scene with the spaceships at the end there looked pretty good. Like they didn't look as 1960s hokey as I remember, you know? But I haven't ever seen this episode before too. So, maintain battle stations. And there's Dr. McCoy. Hard action. Really? Botany Bay, no. Well, that hasn't panned out. Oh. Stop arguing, you two. Spock and McCoy. I love this. Ah. Wait, is it McGivers or MacGyvers? Oh man, she was just about to paint. She looked so put out by that. Come on, you get to go on an away team mission. Okay, old McCoy, we get it. Is everybody wearing a phaser, including her? Whoa. Okay. Okay, so this is a sleeper ship. Okay. This definitely does not look like the Botany Bay I remember from Wrath of Khan. Think that the Botany Bay would be infamous. Oh, are they waking up? They're waking up, aren't they? Oh, yep, there he is. Ricardo Montalban. Lady, stop falling in love. Okay. He'll be waking up soon. All kinds. Oh. Well, then figure it out. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was some flimsy glass, okay? For something that's supposed to keep you safe and secure in suspended animation, that was flimsy glass. Oh, he can't talk? Oh, how long? Okay. Okay, lady, keep it in your pants, my god. Unbelievable. Oh, okay. I was like, they're not trying to do others yet, are they? Wow. I didn't I didn't realize that I didn't realize that like any of them had malfunctioned. Yeah, they damn, no records. Okay. Excellent question. Oh God. Come on, Spock. Well, start with what you know. Lies. Lies. Okay, so I know that they never make it to Starbase 12 with this ship. I can only imagine what kind of catastrophe would have resulted if they had. Bunch of genetically engineered madmen with super strength. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, that could be an issue. If he's the leader. Hold on. I'm moving up a bit. Wow. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. She's looking for a bad boy. Well, we can see that Kirk is modest too. Oh yeah, he's probably got a hell of a headache. He had to be put out for that long. Wakey wakey. I don't know. Whoa. Okay, is he stretching? I'm going to assume that he's just stretching. Oh boy. He's like, I could use those as weapons. Really? I mean, it's not like you woke up in shackles or anything. And now you're faking being asleep. Really? Whoa. Hi. Oh my God, McCoy. Jesus. What am I? Oh, calling his bluff. That was a ballsy play there, McCoy. Nice. Okay, so I know that Ricardo Montalban is Hispanic. That is a very Hispanic sounding accent. He's supposed to be playing a North Indian man. I have never understood how they reconcile this. Yeah, like, come on. Oh, really? That's wow. Probably means nothing to him at this point. Means you lost a few already. He's trying to order him already. Han. Oh my God. Okay. A little bit of sparring already happened. Oh no. Library tapes. It's like Kirk is like, I'm already suspecting things about this dude. They were having a little contest of wills already. The technical schematics of this ship, really, though? Based on what McCoy told him, yeah, obviously. I was gonna say, that's, yeah, that is a lot of dangerous individual. That is a lot of dangerous people not to know where their whereabouts are. There, yeah. It's like, are you sure you know what it is you're hauling? Rebirth. Oh God, putting the moves on her. Yes. And what is attractive to Kant and must be the priority. Be like, dude, this is highly inappropriate. Come on. Give it a little length, I guess. Uh-huh. Oh, and you're really doing a good job of stopping him. How is whatever. I'm not an expert on hairstyles, so wow. Okay. He was hitting on her hard. Oh, her. Okay, MacGyver's idea. Got it. Yeah. Good point. He's uh he's in her quarters already. Jesus. Wow. He is very presumptuous. Oh, is that him? Okay, it is him. Wow, he moves fast. And she is into it. There was just. Ooh. It's like, that's the kind of thing a tyrant would say. Oh. Spock is really keeping him on his toes. Okay, this is pretty fascinating to watch. What are they drinking? Okay. Yep. Who are you? And he just lets him go. Oh, I would love to have heard the conversation that ensued after he left. Oh boy. Hello. So she, yeah, I was going to say she knows who he is. Oh, come on, talk. Graciously offer. Well, that was the word he was looking for. Uh-oh. What? Open your heart or I'll break your wrist. Yep. Betray them. And she's gonna stay, isn't she? Mhm. Girl with a taste for historical bad boys. Terrible, terrible professionalism. Just terrible. How would they not have known this about him by this point? Scotty? Really? Spock is just. Oh, they're messing with him. And that's what it is to be human. See, I'd have done that a while ago, but okay. Interesting. He looks like he's wearing a uniform. Okay, he's not letting him know what they know. What do you think? He was overthrown. Oh boy, the arrogance. And what do you mean by that exactly? I would. He's playing the smart. Tell him as little as possible and then just leave him. Oh, he's gonna try to physically open the door. And he's just gonna do a. He's just gonna. Marla, you terrible, terrible person. Okay, so Khan's got his own version of the Vulcan neck pinch. Oh god, he's revived his men. Somehow I didn't realize that was going to happen in this episode. Joaquin? Wow. Let me tell you, man, the clothing they put those women in at that time. You would think they would have heard about that beforehand. Oh God, bridge has been sealed? Jammed? What? Okay, where's Scotty? Yeah. Oh man. Mm-hmm. That was just a dumb move, you know? Like, come on, seriously? Um, God. The War of Wills, man. Oh, why? Wow. Was not expecting that to happen. Join you? She's like, nope, not gonna do it. Is that Joaquin? Joaquin? Dude! Wow. God. He's got Kirk in an airlock, basically? Holy crap. Wow. Betray him and I will save him. They're like, okay. Ooh. She's like, I'm not going to watch this. Unprofessional as she may be, she's got a weak stomach. What channel? He just gets up and is like, okay, let's do this. Okay, so she wasn't entirely traitorous. She literally saved Kirk's life. I never knew that. I knew she had betrayed the Enterprise. I didn't realize she'd gotten cold feet. Oh, I won't kill him. Kirk and Spock, unbeatable team. uh, Rodriguez and Ling are taking a nap, and now the crew is fighting back. I love this. What did she do? Uhura did something before she. I wonder who. This is terrible, terrible tactical thinking on Kirk's part. Okay, you're really, really strong. Good for you. Okay. Okay, so they actually do fight each other. I mean, I'd rather think Scotty should have followed. Or Spock, maybe. Wow. Kirk just Black Widowed Khan. Not as well as she would have, but you know. Okay, so Khan can take a hit. All right. Ooh. Okay, yay for hidden tools in the console. Overload averted. Like, even superior strength has to give in to a really solid wrench or something. Yeah. Is this a court martial? MacGyver should be court martialed. Really? Huh. John Milton? I can fix him. Is she? Really? Okay. I mean, given everything that's happened, that's a fairly amiable way for them to depart. Ah, I figured it was something like that. To rule in hell. Interesting. I mean, this was all resolved very quickly. Okay, well, we've definitely got to stay and watch the credits here. Okay, Madeline Rue was Marla MacGyver's. I always thought it was Marla McGivers. I don't know why. And some of these are from the current episode, and other scenes are not. I would say most of them aren't. Okay. Desilu. All right, and there we go. We have just finished the episode, and now I was today years old when I could say that I've finally seen the episode Space Seed. All right, let me just do a couple of things real quick. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, all right. Okay. Um, so in some ways this episode was pretty much exactly what I was expecting it to be, and then there were a couple of other ways that it actually surprised me. Um, I seem to remember some picture of Ricardo Montalban's Khan actually holding Kirk up with one arm, but I don't think we ever saw that in this episode. And it makes me wonder, did I just imagine it, or is that something that has been depicted in an artist's rendering, or was it a shot that was filmed and then never used in the episode? I would have I don't know. If anyone has any ideas about that, I would definitely like to know. Um, but in a lot of ways, I mean, there were a few things about this episode that surprised me. I was surprised that it took them as long as they did. Oh, you know what? Let me take a second and halt the timer since that is no longer needed. So let me stop that and then reset. So, um, I was surprised that it took them as long as they did to suss out who exactly it was. I figured that Khan would have been infamous by that point, but then again, I've got a lot of my knowledge of Star Trek after this episode kind of biasing my expectations here. So that was really interesting that like and Khan played it really well. He did a good job of just giving out just a little bit of information, but not enough to like incriminate himself or anything. And then like you see him and Kirk meeting several times, and they're having this kind of, it's not really a war of wills yet. It's more of a war of wits. They're trying to, one up each other and find out what is going on with with each other without giving away too much themselves. And I think that was really interesting. I think it sets up the dynamic that they have later in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I also think that given the way the episode ended, I was like, I don't know, it was just really interesting that they agreed so readily to just be like, okay, yeah, you can drop us off on this planet and we'll get what we want. We'll build a new world and everything. It ends on a fairly optimistic note for both parties. And, even though, like, even though it ends that way and we know what is going to happen to Khan and his men later, um, it kind of like surprised me that things ended as amiably as they did, as amicably as they did. I don't know which word is the appropriate one to use at that point, but like it ended on fairly friendly terms. Like, okay, you tried to take over the ship, aha, nice try. We're gonna drop you off on a planet, and Khan's like, yeah, okay, we can live with that. Um, and then of course you get to the second movie and things have turned poisonous between the two men. So, um, I did find a couple of things about this episode kind of like hokey. One of them was just Lieutenant MacGyver's and her blatant unprofessionalism throughout pretty much this entire episode. Like from the get go of her introduction, I'm just like, lady, what is with your attitude? She's like, I was about to paint, you know, I was about to do the latest historical painting of tyrannical men from history. And it was, like that kind of way she rolled her eyes and then goes in to the way she's like immediately smitten with Khan. And I'm just like, wow, lady, like keep it in your pants, basically. It was it was an interesting character arc for a person who later barely gets a mention in Wrath of Khan. Like, he mentions his beloved wife and how she was quickly taken down by the one of the Seti eels. But you never see her, and there really isn't much else said about her. I think he mentions her to Kirk when he's about to leave them buried alive, and I don't know. One other thing that I thought was kind of hokey was, McCoy's like, well, he has a certain magnetism, and it's like, I don't know. To me, I don't know if it was that word or what have you, but like, to describe his personal charisma in those kind of terms, I guess on the one hand it felt kind of lazy, and on the second hand it really just like kind of ascribes to Khan, um, a kind of superhuman nature that I don't think he actually had. And I don't know, I felt like that could have been handled a little less. I don't know, like less telling, more showing. Like, we saw plenty of instances of Khan being charismatic and getting people to do things that they wouldn't maybe normally do. And I don't know, I just felt like that could have been shown more than told. So, on the other hand, it was pretty funny to see Kirk physically fight Khan. I was like, wow, how are you going to win this one? And we see how Kirk won that one. He won it the same way that he won the Kobayashi Maru. He cheated. He pulled a metal rod out of a console and smacked Khan in the stomach with him, and then beat him into submission. I was like, yeah, well, you're not gonna beat him in an arm wrestling contest, that's for sure. So, but overall, I'm really glad I watched this episode. This really kind of fills in a lot of gaps. And I know that there are novels and stuff written about Khan's time, like, like when he was growing up and when he was, exiled to SETI Alpha 5 and everything. And I think I've read the first one long time ago. But I think the book where Khan actually tries to build a civilization on SETI Alpha 5, I think that one's called To Rule in Hell. And so I like that they took the title of that book from this episode where Kirk quotes Milton to Scotty and basically says it's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. So I don't know. I really did enjoy this episode. It was a lot of fun to watch. And of course, it's good for my Trek knowledge base, which is something that is I like to think fairly good. You know, I can go out there and probably do pretty well in a Star Trek trivia contest, but it can always use a little bit more. And so watching this episode of the original series definitely fills in some gaps that I had before, and so I'm looking forward to doing that with other episodes throughout the Star Trek franchise. But this episode, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, it was a little hokey, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I liked seeing the, the how to put this, the progression of how Khan went from, somebody being rescued to a man who attempted to overtake the ship and everything. I also, little bit of Trek trivia here, but when Khan recognizes Chekhov in Wrath of Khan, Chekhov was nowhere to be seen in this episode. That's because the character, I don't think he came along until season 2 of this show. And so I think they've reconciled that in the novels just by saying that Chekhov was like on the Enterprise, but he just wasn't on camera during the show. So maybe he was new and still being shown the ropes. I don't know. But yeah, this was definitely an important episode of the show to watch. And again, I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And hopefully you did as well. Thank you for watching this reaction. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and thwip the like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing as well. Also, consider sharing this out with your friends, family, followers, anyone that you think would enjoy my reaction to these media. In this case, hold on. In this case, Star Trek lovers. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know why in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you about this, well, not film, about this show. I'm going to just do that take again. I would love to have a conversation with you about this show. What else? You can find the full and unedited live stream of this reaction on my YouTube channel. Each show has its own playlist under the category Watch Party, and I will be making a special Star Trek shows playlist for that. I will be making a special Star Trek shows playlist for shows that I watch this month across the entire franchise. Whichever of those playlists you look for, you can find them on my YouTube channel under the category Watch Party. And finally, channel memberships are now live on the Spidey Librarian YouTube channel. Check out the membership tiers and see which benefits you'd like access to. Perks include shoutouts, members-only videos, members-only live streams, and early access to selected uploaded content, as well as other benefits. And that's not even mentioning my custom emotes and badges, which I think look pretty good. Check out the membership tiers today and see which perks you'd like access to. And I think that's everything, so thanks again for watching. This is Spidey Librarian, and until my next stream or upload, I'll be wishing you a good day. And remember, live long and prosper. Okay, all right. Let me see what people have been saying in the chat. Let's go and let's see. We had Mindshell over on Twitch talking to us. Let's see. Let's do this, baby. Let's try to move around slowly. To move around slowly? I don't know. But then we got a bunch of one-word responses, Star Trek, and Mindshell is also a BSG fan. Oh, Battlestar Galactica? Nice. Very nice. All right. CG says that even though Khan has a limited number of appearances, he's a really memorable character. Yes, he is. And again, he had, I would definitely say Wrath of Khan is the more important storyline, but without that setup from Space Seed, it doesn't really quite pack as much punch. And so Space Seed really can't be discounted either. So, all right, let's see. Since The Wrath of Khan became such an iconic film, CG wonders if Khan would have appeared in multiple episodes of the original Star Trek series if people knew how popular he would become. So my understanding about Wrath of Khan is when they originally decided to bring him back, the initial reaction was, "You're gonna bring back that guy? Like, he wasn't even that good a villain." Like, that was apparently the initial response from a lot of people who had watched the shows and everything. So I really don't know. And I don't know. It's not an invalid thought, but apparently back then he really wasn't considered all that memorable a villain. So Khan is one of CG's favorite Ricardo Montalban roles. I can see that. It's definitely a memorable one. Star Trek had some really good guest stars. Frank Gorshin, the first Riddler, even guest starred. Really? I'll have to look into that because I'm not aware of who he played, but all right, you hope that the episode lived up to my expectations. I mean, I would say so. It did pretty much exactly what I expected it to do. I've watched Wrath of Khan, I can't tell you how many times. And Khan's rage in that movie is positively Shakespearean. And so I remember wondering for a long time. I was like, okay, what was Space Seed like? Maybe I should watch this, and I just never got around to it until tonight. So It pretty much did everything I expected it to do. It showed him coming out of hypersleep, trying to take over the Enterprise, and then being exiled to SETI Alpha 5. It did all of that, and then I got the extra elements of Lieutenant MacGyver's and her betrayal of the Enterprise, and her slight betrayal of Khan as well. Um, and kind of the matching wits with Kirk and matching wits with Spock, and frankly, matching wills with Uhura. That was all stuff that I was like, whoa, okay, I like this. So yeah, this episode definitely lived up to my expectations, and I would say exceeded it in a couple of places. Considering that Khan went on to be the main villain of two films, the episode that he was in is awfully important in hindsight. Yes, and I would just say that it is because of, uh, at the very least, because of Wrath of Khan that it's important. I don't know that it's necessarily important to Star Trek Into Darkness the way that it is to Wrath of Khan. I would say Wrath of Khan is more important than Space Seed to Star Trek Into Darkness because, my God, they sure as hell tried to they tried to remake that movie as much as they could, and yeah, I don't know, but definitely Space Seed is an important episode in the Star Trek mythos. Um, I would say that it didn't become as important until Wrath of Khan was made, though. But now that it has been, like, its importance can't be denied. So, but this was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, uh, I think we're kind of at the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and head off for the night. I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up and watched this along with me, including CG Anime Fan, of course. Wolf MCOC also showed up, and then we got on Twitch we had Mindshell join us. So thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully I'll see you guys for future Show It shows because I'm going to be doing at least 5 of them this month for Star Trek. We're going to be doing, let's see, we've just done TOS. We're going to do at least 1 episode of Enterprise, 1 of Voyager, 1 of Deep Space Nine, and there's at least 1 more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's in my post about the Star Trek theme month, so be sure to go ahead and check that out. And Wolf might get me to do an episode of the Orville as well, which would probably be good because that's definitely Trek adjacent, and I haven't seen much of it. So, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and head off. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it very much. Take care. This is Spidey Librarian, and until my next stream or upload, I'll be wishing you a good day. Bye!